being out in the cold. And I don't mind not knowing where to go. But I mind watching faces in pain, seeing them cold and hungry, left in the rain. I don't mind being out in the cold, out in the cold. And I don't mind not knowing where to go. Where do I go? But I mind watching faces in pain, seeing them cold and hungry, left in the rain. Yeah. I don't mind the path that I had to walk, and I don't mind all those words that I had to talk, and I don't mind all those flings that I had to fling, and some of those words I spoke I just had to sing. I just had to bring the best that I had to give, and being tested by these blessings that I had to live, changing dressings on the scars that I had within. It's a daily operation, you just gotta grin before it gets too grim and life pins you in. You gotta think like a shark and show your fins, whether we're alone in the dark or with an audience. Believe you're the hottest commodity since the iPhone lobotomy. You follow me? I'm hoping probably. I'm talking openly and don't know where the rope could be. The crosshairs, the red dot, or the poison drip. So take a message from this song, that's all I have to give. I don't mind being out in the cold, and I don't mind not knowing where to go. But I mind watching faces in pain, seeing them cold and hungry, left in the rain. I don't mind being out in the cold, and I don't mind not knowing where to go. But I mind watching faces in pain, seeing them cold and hungry, left in the rain. They leave you in the rain, then hang you out to dry. I wonder how so many people get by. But then one day you wake up and start to realize that anyone you know could be called up at any time. Can't press rewind, can't flip the tape, so might as well not live in the past and dwell on hate. People talk strange shit to get to the gate, and if you know me well, you know I call them doors of fate. I take what I need, but not too much. I never open the door if the handle was hot to the touch. You gotta find an alternate way out of the flames. They want you in the spotlight, they want you just to take the blame. But all the same, it's like a wheel with these fucking hipsters. Instead of more rappers, we could use more active listeners. But I don't mind that a lot of things are actually happening, cause I'm a music slave and this is what I'm coming strapped with. Cause I don't mind being out in the cold, and I don't mind not knowing where to go. But I mind watching faces in pain, seeing them cold and hungry, left in the rain. I don't mind being out in the cold, not knowing where to go. But I mind watching faces in pain, seeing them cold and hungry, left in the rain. I don't mind being out in the cold, and I don't mind not knowing where to go. But I mind watching faces in pain, seeing them cold and hungry, left in the rain.
Eat your vegetables!
One last drink and I'll be gone. Make it count with the blood on. Never really felt like I belong, so I'll be on my way and I won't be long. I'll be dead by dawn. 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 Scrolling through my texts, sharing and left and right.
All right, everybody. What's up? It's Monday. We are here. We're alive. Everyone's, it's like, it's the weirdest thing. the eclipse has been something that everyone has been like excited about, making content about, but yet there's so much of it that you might as well just go look at it yourself. You know what I mean? Anyway, moving on. We got episode 130. Another solid number, Steve-O. Nice rounded number there. 130.
Right.
It is Monday. It is 4/8/2024. 4/8/2024. Seems like math or something. Lots of fours there. So we've got a few, like another week and a half or so, or another week and a couple days for not the big thing, the big holiday coming up here soon. So everybody is going to be excited about that. I can't wait to talk about that next week. We got a lot to talk about, actually. Had a busy weekend. I know, Steve-O, you got a bunch of stuff going on now too, and we're going to be getting into it, guys. So before we do, though, if you guys could give us a hand, hit that like button, hit that little finger thing. I think I shared out to like 50 different groups. I think Steve-O does the same thing. We do everything that we can on our end, guys. So if we could see you guys do some of that tagging and sharing, I really appreciate it. And let's see, we've already got people coming in on X, on Rumble, on Facebook. We had Jason Putnam stopping through. What's up, Jason? I said hi to him. That was the first comment I made earlier. But yeah, so guys, it's fun. It's a fun Monday because to me, not the eclipse wasn't the big deal. It was nice. It was a nice day. Took the dog for a walk. Like finally, it wasn't pouring rain. It wasn't nasty outside. I got some work done outside. I'll be probably taking some footage and stuff from that this summer because, as you know, that was my whole part of the show was becoming self-sustainable. Not just here's what I'm growing, but here's how I'm trying to learn how to take care of a home. Owning your own home and doing all those things is a big deal. And a lot of people will skip by that because they're afraid of what it takes to do, run a home and like own it. But we got Sir Steve-O in the house. What's up, bro? Sorry, I'm a little long-winded today. I'm excited, but go ahead. What's up? What do you got going on? You got the new banner up behind you, I see.
Oh yeah. We've got the FUBU chorus, the Grow Fam, the standard stuff. I haven't changed things much around in a little while. I can say this, though, that today was an absolutely beautiful day outside. I did get into the whole eclipse phenomena. Kelly ran around this morning and found at an optometrist of all places. Never thought to look there. They had free glasses.
Oh.
In all of Woodstock, they were probably the last place to have them.
Wow.
And yeah, so we got
charging for them. Everyone had to buy them everywhere else.
Yeah, they were charging for them too, but they actually, since it was getting so close, they were like, just take them. And Kelly went in, and there was only one left, so they let her take the what would you call that? The one that's on the
display one.
Display. That's the word. Yeah. And it turned out good. It was fun. I even got a couple nice pictures through the glasses, and got to do some outside work while we were at it and just soaking up the sun, grounding our feet on the ground. And it was it was a good time for sure.
It's like once you get out there in that nice weather, you're like, there's so much to do. Like,
yeah,
like one of the smallest things I never thought about was your landscaping. Like I was like, I don't need a bunch of beautiful landscaping, but there was already landscaping here. Mm-hmm. And so you sort of either got to upkeep it or you got to
get rid of it,
wipe it out. But then if you take it out, you got a big pad of dirt there. So it's something that it's like one of those little things you never thought about. So it's interesting. Mm-hmm. I do have some footage from the eclipse. We're going to show just a little bit, just in case anyone wants to see what I got of it. Everybody's got some different things. I saw some really good stills. I took a video, sped up video during the eclipse. So the only thing cool about mine is that you can actually, it's like 2 minutes, but you can actually watch it moving a little bit. It doesn't fully cover at that time, but anyway, it's worth checking out. We'll look through that in a little bit here. Let me pull up my folder real quick to make sure I got everything set up. So one other thing I wanted to talk about is game night. We had a great game night last night. I mean, it did again. I hate to feel like I'm showing a little annoyance in the beginning as we're trying to get the game going. So guys, I do apologize, but it did take us an hour, but the game only takes an hour and a half. So do that math. Like if we can cut out the amount of time that it takes me to get going, man, like I can't imagine what would happen then. But yeah, so we had a good game. We gave away a bunch of extra stuff. Shouts out to Perry Wood. I saw him in the comments there.
Hey, Perry.
He actually won. I think I saw you in the comments. I was up on Misfit Island hanging out with the boys last night, and I just did a random swag giveaway, and lo and behold, one of my subscribers wins it. I'm always happy to see that, man. That's a fun thing. I like to meet new people, but then I like to also be like a random person in the crowd happens to also be somebody, it's in my community. So
one of the things that I like right now, Waylon, is how now for your followers that didn't want to go over to locals, they can follow you now on your page, right?
Yes. Yeah. I figured we would get into that. Steve-O and I both have the ability to have subscribers on Facebook. So if you guys are out there and you're not really interested in checking out, any of these other apps we're using and different websites and all that, check it out. Go subscribe on Facebook. That puts you into a private, exclusive group. Steve-O can't even invite people in there unless they've subscribed. So that's how it works, and that puts you in there automatically. It gets you kind of a little secret special spot. Hey, what's up?
Then with
Cycle in the House.
Oh yeah, and with all the extra perks that you get from Waylon the Indoor Farmer, those travel the same as locals as your Facebook subscribers. Is that right? All the different perks, the hashing.
Yeah, that's how I'm doing it. It's $3 on Facebook and on Rumble, or I'm sorry, on Locals, you can get the best deal, which is $20 for a full year, and it's only $1.60. Lord Leaf Cycle has a good point here. He says he was going to, but he saw everyone else doing it. Yeah, and I'm seeing a lot of people doing that too. Clearly, what that means is that Facebook is loosening the reins a little bit on what it requires, because what I had read a long time ago is like I wasn't even anywhere close. So they did something and basically just opened the floodgates because they're worried about us using other apps. Hello, we're on 8 different locations right now. I'm sorry, Facebook. I'm sorry, X. I'm sorry, Rumble. I'm not putting my eggs in a single basket anymore, even though it kind of hurts us a little bit in some of those algorithms. I do a lot of extra work as far as like regular social media. I don't call this social media. We're doing a show right now. This is our show, right? Like 20 years ago, we'd be on TV, if public access TV, Wayne's World, party time. That's where we'd be 20 years ago. But right now we've got the internet. So we're doing our show here. But we also do a lot of social media on the side, which is actually where we generate those algorithm boosts and things like that. Real quick, I guess I'll point it out since we're on the subject. Wednesday night, guys, definitely, if anything this week, Wednesday night's show, I have a special guest coming on for a half an hour. I've only got him for a short time. He's over on X, and we are live on X. Shouts out to Alex Finn on X. If you know, you know. He actually reads through the algorithm and reads the code and posts pictures of the code to tell you what to do and what not to do, all that good stuff. So we're going to be getting some really, really important information for a short time on Wednesday. So definitely bring your pen and paper on that one. Hey, we got Tag and Wayne in the house. What's up, brother?
Hey, Wayne, thanks, bro. Turf Farmers here. We got a bunch of people.
So Leaf Cycle says he's still going to set it up. Yeah, set it up. I mean, I just, don't advertise it just yet until everyone else is done with theirs. I mean, guys, I've had subscriptions for 2 years now, and it's just starting to make sense to a lot of people, because a lot of you guys will spend money throughout the month on different giveaways and stuff. But now a lot of us are doing the subscription, which makes it where you're automatically in some. So anyway, I think it's better. I think a lot of you are going to like it, and people are actually enjoying what I'm doing. At least I know Steve-O is going to make some special content and everything for his group too. So let me share in my stuff here real quick. Actually, I do have my water, and part of the show tonight was some new fish. I went and got a bunch of new shrimp, and I got some they're ghost shrimp, and I got a bunch of new snails, because I'm having a problem with extra algae and the water starting to get dirty. So what I want to do is the snails will eat algae, and the shrimp is what helps to break down all those solids of different stuff, not just poop and pee, but you got all kinds of stuff, fish flakes, dead fish, old food, all of that stuff in the tank, and those shrimp actually will help to break it down. I'm going to do this test. I bought a little bottle of the API pH down begrudgingly, I bought the small bottle. I keep saying I'm trying to order it from Amazon, but I forget to do it. So I went ahead and bought it at the pet store. Shouts out to PetSmart. All right, so we're gonna see. Go ahead.
Isn't there a fish called a plecostomus that
Yeah.
is an algae eater that sucks on the side?
Yeah, there's a couple of them. There's a little Asian algae eater, and then there's a Placosoma. Snails do it, but the thing is, this specific snail I got from I got it for a reason, is because it actually has a chance to reproduce. So I could get a whole bunch of them out of it. And I got multiple tanks, so it could be good for expansion in the future. Placosomas are very lazy. They're good. They do eat, but as far as algae eaters go, I've been told those are among the laziest of the algae eaters. Oh, bro, this is not looking good. I put about 3 little pores of the pH down in there already, and this was about 4 hours ago, and we're still sitting at 8. I just went to 8.0 from 8.1. So it must have been pretty high.
It could have been at that point.
So you're going to see a picture of a snail here that looks all green because it's just covered in algae.
He's covered. He's munching.
So I think that maybe it's just too much for him. So that's why I got a bunch more. So this first little video is just a little live streaming of the eclipse that I took for you guys. If you guys are interested, real quick, it's just about a minute. Oh, hey, we use catfish. Yeah, I actually, Mama Rochi, that's a good idea. I have these 2 tiny little catfish. I don't know if they're in there anymore because I can't see very well in the water. You're going to see that. So there were catfish, there were snails. So I don't know if it's something I'm doing. I think there's too much water exposed to the light, to the grow lights. That's causing a lot of algae to happen. I always use catfish. Yeah, catfish are good. Actually, hold on, back up. Sorry about this. Catfish are not algae eaters. Catfish are like the shrimp, where they will help to eat all the just junk that's all around in the bottom. Break down the solids, I guess, is a good way to put it. But
Did the shrimp help with that too, Waylon?
Yes, that's why I think that's what the ladies are talking about. The shrimp and the catfish are kind of similar, but then you have all the algae eaters are different. You got the snails and the Placosomas, the Asian algae, the Chinese or Japanese Asian algae eaters. I can't remember the full name, but the Asian algae eaters are actually some of the most energetic, most actually, I meant to say this a minute ago. Jason motherfucking Putnam hitting us with this angry emoji.
What's up with that?
Actually, 3 people. Everyone's doing this now. It's because I don't know. Okay, I'm guessing. But on StreamYard, it sticks out a lot when you do that. John Doe used to do this a lot too.
Yeah, I remember
we've got
that.
3. We've got 3. I thought it was just Jason. Gerald, tagging Wayne. All right. We'll just leave you guys alone. Jeez, goodness gracious.
Ashley did too. She said accidentally, but she must have switched it.
Justin, you did not see this one though. You're about to. He said he saw the eclipse perfectly. Now you feast your eyes on this.
Sexy.
Are you ready for the eclipse? Can you wait? Can you hear it?
A little louder, just a little louder if you can.
I'm gonna have to share it in differently. I forgot I had audio I wanted you guys to hear.
It wasn't terrible, but I could tell it was low. Yeah.
I'm just gonna share the whole screen, get the audio in real quick. Got it. Okay. Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. Whoop, there it is. All right, now feast your eyes, guys. Feast your eyes. Feast. Fully. Are you ready for the eclipse? Neither am I. So that was the eclipse, guys. I hope you liked it. It was, it was good for me. I hope it was good for you.
That was funny.
It kind of felt like that's my hand. All I could think of was like Star Wars, dun, 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 dun. Like the space balls where there's like the comical in the beginning. There's a ship that's just keeps going and just going and going and going. You just never see the end of it. That was a good one. Anyway, sorry, that's from my childhood, guys. You might have heard of it. Space balls. It's an older one. All right, I'm going to share indifferently now since you don't have to hear anymore.
That's what she said, says Corey.
Kim, what's up? How was your birthday, Kim?
She's on her world tour of Canada in this April right now. She's doing a lot of on location coverage.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, that's a fuzzy picture. Dang it. I got some good pictures of my buds as they're starting to. So the leaves look crazy because of a couple things. I was still trying to catch up with deficiencies after getting rid of the spider mites, right? And they're flowering at the same time. So you can see a little bit of a combination of both, how there's pretty colors and then there's not pretty colors. You know what I mean? I don't mean the bud itself. I'm looking at the leaves. So you got some reds, you know, but then you also have some burnt yellows, which are definitely part of the deficiencies that we're still trying to catch up. So in my opinion, okay, real fast before my pH meter shuts off, we're sitting at 7.8. So I did affect it some. That's good. That's a good. It can only go 0.2 pH down per every 24 hours is the recommendation for an aquarium, you guys. That's very slow. So that means I need to keep up on it more. Anyway, back to the picture here. So I was constantly trying to, get rid of the bad leaves, but it looks like what's happening is as your plant flowers, it's going to suck some of that nutrients out of the rest of the plant, right, Steve-O? Am I wrong to say that? So I'm kind of fighting two battles at the same time, but I think the buds are looking pretty decent. I mean, they're not going to be huge buds, but they look really, really frosty. This was the 180 back kicks. See, like there's some bright greens in there too. Good. Yeah, there's some bright greens in there too. But looking at just the buds are actually, and this was the worst plant, the one we're looking at here on the right. This was our like most destroyed one. I can't see. I meant to take pictures during the light. I apologize, guys. I got down there a little bit late.
I've learned from some seasoned growers that if you're in flower and your leaves start to yellow, it's actually a good thing as far as THC count goes, because the less nitrogen that's in the plant when you harvest, the better, and it'll increase the THC percentage, and that comes from Nancy Wallace. So I believe that.
Okay, so in my head, I'm thinking I need to keep giving it something to sort of boost, but I think I'm at 4 weeks. Maybe just water. You think?
You just give it its regular food. Don't try to make up for the nitrogen deficiency. Just give it regular food and your sweetener if that's what you're doing. But then flush 2 weeks. I recommend flush for 2 weeks to get rid of everything. But if you're growing organic, you don't have to.
Right. And honestly, I'll be honest, guys. I've given these very, very, very little as far as nutrients. I've given them Wizard Tea once. All of them got some Wizard Tea, a little bit of bloom and veg, right as I did the flip. They've all gotten worm castings. There's four plants here. They've all gotten worm castings, I think, twice. So like a couple worm castings each. And they've all got some banana tea that I poured out. I actually make my banana tea. I throw my banana peels in a jug and put RO water and I let it sit and got some good potassium banana tea in there. So they've got that. And that was only once, and then I water them with water from my aquarium. So I pH it, which I don't know if pH down will hurt the microbes in it. And this is different than the pH down that's safe for aquariums. I'm using that regular, the brand pH up and pH down. I'm doing that. And I'm just wondering if that's hurting my microbes or not. But that's a side note. But beside the fact that that's a lot of nitrites and nitrates. So to your point, Steve-O, I may want to cut back a little bit of the water from the fish tank, maybe half and half, maybe. I'm not sure. But you can see that these are in the dark cycle just because they're sort of like droopy. Like you see the bud part that's kind of like hanging a little bit. Yeah. Go ahead,
Well,
sir.
I think that since you're only using your fish tank water for food, that yeah, you should just keep using it.
Yeah.
Um, I think it's working great for you as far as the nutrition for a while there, because it was so green until you got the spider problem, and that's what
Yeah.
hurt.
I think that was the major issue. Like once you're get hit with something that's going to take more resources from the plant than what I'm giving it, then yeah, you're going to fight an uphill battle at that point. So I think you're right. But yeah, so I think this is the last picture of it. Not terrible. I mean, I'm going to get some
Wow.
bud out of it. It's indoor, so it shouldn't be terrible as far as taste and smell and all that. But yeah, we're gonna finish her up and make it happen, guys. This was actually almost a rags to riches story. No, a redemption story. Redemption story. That's the better way to think of it. Yes.
Yeah, we even had people saying to get rid of them and stuff not too long
Yes.
ago.
People
And
are
now
probably
look,
upset that I didn't actually.
yeah, but now look, you're going to have some product, and you've learned some lessons, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, and I think of you guys. I think of the audience when I try to do stuff. I'm thinking, well, what would be a good lesson? Like, do I want to show them this mistake or that mistake? Sometimes there are very common mistakes that I'm not going to just show everything, but the ones that I think are really worth like expanding on for sure. Like we went
Well,
for
Turk,
what,
Turk
4 weeks?
Farmer,
Go ahead.
he doesn't think that your pH down hurts your microbes.
Okay. Now I know I can't use it directly in the fish tank because it's not good for the fish for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wish I would have taken this during the light because the flash is really not doing it justice. But you can kind of see, you can tell that they're nice, and I mean they look nice even though they're fuzzy. Like, right? Is that? I mean, am I wrong about that?
I agree.
You can tell once the lights come on at night. I'll try to take a better picture maybe tonight.
And there's still time for them to get bigger, fatter, and thicker too.
4 more weeks. Got 4 more weeks. If I can, I think I'll probably give them some more worm castings. I'm still hitting them with Prime Superior, of course. I'm going every couple of days now instead of every day, just because I'm not seeing any spider mites or anything. So I'm still hitting it every couple of days, which is actually more often than it's recommended. It's typically like a once a week, unless you're having a problem. And then like I'm doing is I'm just hitting them as often as possible in that dark cycle.
You still hitting them with the food mist?
No, you cannot use food mist on the flower. Yep. You can use Prime Superior during flower, and a lot of people might say they would just prefer not to anyway. But if you're using Prime Superior all through that plant's life, it actually is going to be sort of dependent on it a little bit in a way. Because as soon as when you stop using that a week or two later, it's going to weaken its immune system. Now I would like to see what Jimmy's opinion is on that. Jason says, add a cup of cold coffee a day. Jason, what are you doing? Get up here. I told you, I asked you to come up a couple weeks ago. He was busy. We want to get Jason up as a guest sometime. He says, add cold coffee a day. I don't even have a coffee maker. Unfortunately.
What does coffee do, I wonder?
I don't know, but I know I've seen people can grow with it. Teas and coffees, actually. There's something in it. Is it nitrogen? Is it Jason will tell us in a minute, but I'm just guessing right now. I remember hearing a story of a guy that grew a plant where he literally just put the remainder of his coffee cup at like the nasty stuff at the bottom. He would just pour that in there every day. And then he said it was fine. So something in there.
Microbes of some kind.
Mm-hmm. Just joined. What's up, Buckeye? How did you get rid of spider mites indoors? See, that's what I'm talking about. This is why I went through the whole thing. Yes, that's a great question. So, Buckeye, it's been several weeks now. So every Monday I was giving updates and pictures like you see here. I'll try to make it the Cliff Notes. When I started seeing the problem, I can tell you that it's probably because I used Prime Superior on them, but not often enough. I was telling you, once you use it, you got to keep using it. Otherwise, so I was like maybe waited 2 weeks instead of a week. And that alone was enough to give it some give it a window to be attacked. Yeah. Now the other thing is I have pets. My basement isn't exactly like all sealed off and everything as far as like a nice clean grow room. So that's probably how they got in, right? I've heard a lot of people say that dog hair can do it. But also the other thing is I had gotten ladybugs around the time that happened. And so I didn't want to spray any more Prime Superior, which actually will kill the beneficial insects as well. So I tried the ladybugs. I got even more. And I thought, let me just throw a whole bunch at them. And ladybugs are not great to hit to use after the fact. Like they're a thing you could use to like maintain, a good maintainer. I really like ladybugs. Yeah. I actually really like the ladybugs over everything else just because how fun they are. But then I tried to order some predatory mites. Predatory mites, if you guys don't know, are actually very, very good with spider mites, but they're very expensive too. And I only ordered 2,000. I think it was still $50. And it was during the coldest part of the year, and it ended up taking a week longer than it should have to get to me. So I think I was missing a bunch of predatory mites. Yeah. Anyway, they did actually reimburse me for that. So shouts out to good guys, Nature's Good Guys. So then I moved back to just heavy amounts of Prime Superior. I was extra concentrated dosage, and I was hitting them once or twice every day during the dark cycle. So if that helps you, I hope it does. If you have any more questions, let me know. But I do know some other products that will work that are organic. Pure Crop One. Have you heard of that, Steve-O? Pure Crop One.
You've mentioned it, but that's all I've heard.
Okay. Well, the guys at Level Up, shouts out to Steve-O down there, Level Up Seed and Garden Supply in East Peoria, one of my sponsors, here and there sponsors. They don't have a website, so it's hard for me to really use, shout them out so much. But yeah, everybody in my area knows who they are, and they definitely are doing a lot of events coming up and stuff. But he swears by it. He said you do an extra concentrated dose of that Pure Crop One, and he made a whole guy's grow, and this was like 30 plants. He cleaned them up in I think it was 3 days. Oh, and just a couple of tidbits about spider mites, guys. Spider mites do not like moist environments. And that was one of my problems. I was keeping my plants too dry. I thought that I needed to keep them more dry to keep pests away. Like I wanted to make sure I was trying to skirt that line of like what's too dry and what's not. But then I found out that's not a good idea for spider mites. They really love that dry plant and the damaged plant. If you break anything, if you're doing regular trimming, that's enough to attract them. And something else I learned was that spider mites will only lay eggs for 3 days. 3 days is the max amount of time that they can keep reproducing. So if you're fighting them for at least 3 days, that is supposed to eradicate the issue. I don't want to talk on absolutes, but that is what I learned about 3 days, right? It could vary, I'm guessing. Okay. I haven't been reading a lot of comments. Thank you, Steve-O, for trying to keep up with that. I'm in my head tonight. Green Cleaner. Now, okay. Green Cleaner. Never heard of that one. Yeah. So guys, I knew that I could hit them. I could go back to Prime, but I had a whole bunch of beneficial insects at the time that I wasn't trying to kill. I was trying to like give them some time. Maybe they would breed. Maybe there was something. I never had ladybugs, so I was trying to kind of see what would happen. I gave them at least 2 weeks, and that made the plants worse. Clearly, that would, if the ladybugs weren't going to take care of it, then the plants were still getting damaged. But yeah, it was all kind of a fun experiment. About how, once the spider mites showed up, it was like, okay, let's make it content. Let's figure it out. I don't want to be afraid of spider mites. Most growers are. I say it every time, but whenever you're around a bunch of growers and you mention spider mites, everyone like their skin crawls and everyone like steps away from you a few feet or something. Like it's silly. Thomas, what's up?
Potatoes, man. I can't.
Yeah, let's get into this here.
How big they are.
They are really insane, man. I don't even know why or what's happening, but they're almost taller than me. Let me see. I got a better picture. Got a little video to play. Okay. So yeah, it's weighing down that yo-yo. I need to adjust it again. They've got these weird like flowers starting to form on the top. I've never seen that.
Flowering. Wow.
It's
flowering. It almost looks like little potatoes. It's trying to grow without soil.
He came. Yeah, I don't know what that is. It's weird.
That is
Jason
weird.
Putnam,
It's a ball.
everybody.
Is it working? Sorry, guys. I don't have very good service where I'm at.
What you doing? Trimming?
Trim jail.
Look at this though. So back in the back, this was like what Steve? Well, maybe a month ago. We'll pull that up in a sec, Jay. I'll check it out. About a month ago, I had about this many potatoes, as you can see. There's a whole bunch, and they all died except one. And then I saw another one pop up, and that's why there's two really tall ones. And then all of a sudden now, I can't even count them all. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7, 8. There's like 10 or 20 or 10 or 12 more potatoes popping up out of the soil just spontaneously.
Yeah, Ashley wants you to cut the flowers off and put energy back into more potatoes, she says.
Okay. See, I'm always like worried that I'm not trying to mess up the plant's like normal thing. But you're right. That's kind of the same thing that happens with cannabis. If you give it a nice trim, then they put a lot more energy back into the root system, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's very similar. So that makes sense. I probably will smash. I just thought that was fun watching them get real big.
Yeah. I mean, look how thick they are compared to the past vines that you've had.
I have to imagine that size potato is still going to make a bunch underground. Like, I don't know. Like,
oh, yeah.
Oh, here's a different angle. Yeah. So you got like a bunch of little ones still about to pop out. Like these are roots from the other potato about to make their own potatoes. I was going to fill this bin up, but it kind of is nice to have a side that's lower soil. Kind of gives me a way I can dig in there if I want when I go to do the harvest, and not have to move soil out of the bin in order to get to them. So I don't know. It's a work in progress, but I think Smashley's right. Those two are a little bigger than. Look at that, man. That one is as almost it's as tall as the basil without even just being from the ground. Look at this though. I got a little volunteer cannabis plant.
It is cannabis. I thought so.
I don't know where it came from.
Is it maybe one of the
This is getting a little suspicious that you keep getting cannabis plants just popping up.
Bro, outside there's about 20 in the spot where I had my 3 plants from yesterday. There's a bunch of them or from last year, I mean. But there's some random, I don't even know the strain, so I'm just gonna mow them over or something. I don't need them. But as you can see, I got a pineapple in there now. I'm really hoping that it roots, man. I don't know if it will in there. This is like one of the best water flow spots in the system. Yeah. So, and then you got a couple of peppers. There's 2 over here. I might separate those out. These are peppers too. I got hot peppers and sweet peppers growing, and I don't know which ones are popping. So it might just be sweet, might just be hot. They look like the same ones though. So I don't know. We'll find out. And now over there is lettuce. Got a bunch of lettuce, which is just leaf lettuce. I'm going to toss that in with my basil, making salads and stuff. It'll be fun.
Nice.
I got my dish there, thanks to Mama Val with her recipe of, gnats. Get rid of them
concoction. Yeah.
Although that doesn't get rid of them, it just keeps them really very few.
It catches them. That's about it.
Keeps them contained. Yeah. Yep. Pretty contained. I'll see them. I could still see them crawling around every now and then, but they're not flying in the air. As soon as they go flying, they go jumping in there. So I don't know that it's still not a great, situation, I guess, but I'll figure it out. It's my only pest right now is those little gnats, but they don't fly around, so that's good. Now this is looking crazy.
Could be.
Say again.
Better than what it could be.
Right. And that's hey, that problem is on hold until I fix some other things. But this is crazy. Go ahead.
What do you recommend for the outdoor growers when all them bugs hatch here in about 2 weeks?
Prime
cicadas.
Prime, baby.
Illinois is the largest state that has the most cicadas being hatched. They have both the 13 version and the 19 version of cicadas. Like,
Yeah, the
people's
two different
plants are
kinds.
going to be overtaken.
I don't
Crops,
know
all of it.
what the best idea would be, but if I had Prime or even Pure Crop One, whatever you go with, or what did we had Terp Farmer said something about, was a green cleaner. Whatever you go with, I would do a little concentrated dose, I guess, around that time, a couple times maybe. Keep the baby in house till bugs go. Well, that's I mean, Terp Farmer says keep it inside, but not everyone's going to be able to do that. I would just, I don't know, you're going to have to baby them for a while. Keep going, checking on them more often, hitting them with stuff more often. I don't know.
Well, what do you think? Do you think this problem is going to be as bad as everybody's saying? Or?
I don't know. This eclipse was like a 1 minute, man, compared to what everyone said it was going to be. I thought it was going to be like for an hour. It was going to be like dark for an hour. So I don't know. The cicadas are probably going to be, disappointing too.
Right.
That ain't no plague. We actually do have real plague in different places of the country. So I guess there is that. Rat plagues and bubonic plagues and stuff. We're actually, that's a good time to segue. Speaking of Jason Putnam in the house, we got this week's People in the Boxes. We're going to be talking some current events, current news stories, and, the eclipse. We're going to find out if anything happened during it. Maybe see if there's any wrecks or anything that happened from people being insane. But we're going to get into some just current stuff and find out what's going on out there. So look at this. I got one leaf. Most of the basil doesn't get touched, but that one's maybe just burnt or something. I don't know.
Huh, that's weird.
But yeah, the basil going kind of crazy. Bro, look at this. It's wood. It's turned into it's a tree.
Oh yeah.
I could turn this into
bark.
Yeah, it's got bark now. So I believe there's going to be a point when I will not be able to keep using this. It's just going to be a big tree sitting there with like little bits of basil coming off of it. I don't know. We're just going to keep going and see.
Or those roots might clog something up as much.
They have. I have to cut them out a lot. I have to cut them out of the downspout. They grow down straight down into the water. They grew all the way into the fish tank. Here's those potato balls. Smashley wants me to cut off his balls. Goodness gracious. I guess I will. I want to see some of this.
How did you start your potato? Just a half of a potato, or did you start it a different way?
These potatoes are from like 3 years ago. I started with one and I cut it into about 10 pieces, and that was not even a successful grow. I think I got one potato out of it, and that was enough to start the next one and the next one. Steve-O saw me actually have one pretty successful harvest. Yeah, it was a good 30 potatoes, I think.
Yeah, nice ones too.
Yeah, and it's all still from the same single potato that I got years ago. Just kind of keep her going. Yeah, this one has some balls too, but they're smaller. This one shot up. This is the one that was like a tiny little, shoot after the other one was already up in the air. So it just came up quick. Here's a little video.
All raised on tank water too. That's awesome.
Yeah, and I don't pH their water. These potatoes they get the whatever it is, 7.8, 8.0, whatever. That's what they get. And look how green that is.
Mm-hmm.
You don't pH your fruit and vegetables?
I don't pH these. Well, and nothing in the aquaponics is getting pH'd other than me, trying to adjust the pH in the system. But I do spray these with Prime because potatoes, guys, are the only thing I've seen so far besides cannabis that will attract pests. Although I don't grow a ton of other things that attract pests, like basil. That's an anti-pest plant. You got mint. That's also pest resilient or pest deterrent. And so until I start going with mint, yeah, I just said that. I got a mint. I got mint.
Okay, I didn't see it.
I do have mint, but it's not. I don't really do anything with it. I just let it grow and try to use it to keep pests away. So look how dirty the water is. You can barely see in there. So I had to go and get some more. Oh, here's my footage of the. Yeah, no one needs to see that because this wasn't any good anyway. Like, look, the sun kind of cut in half. Oh, I forgot I downloaded this. Look at this. The sign says, "Sharp objects stay off the car." I'm sorry, stay off the car. Sharp objects stay off the car. But then you see this. Guy, this is a total side note, guys. I forgot this was in there. Sorry. But yeah, this is a car that was on the interstate. Yeah, so that's got to be one of the scariest things, to pull someone over as a police officer on a busy interstate. You know, step out of the car. But anyway, check it out. Look at that. Steve-O, did you see that? I made a reel of this earlier.
Destroyed.
Imagine, but look, if the cop was in the driver's seat, he would probably be all right. Well, depending on how far the car got hit. But the guy that gets put in the back would have been, or the person, whoever was that might have been in the back, would be toast. Look at that.
Isn't that the train accident?
I will go. This was in my area, so let me. I didn't really read it fully. It says December 2021, East Peoria police officer were on scene at an accident, I-74 eastbound at the 95 exit. Sorry, this squad car was used to divert traffic. Yeah, that's why it said the interstate. It's on I-74 by being placed over 200 feet prior to the accident scene. What? Car was used to divert. Oh, this was just the diversion. This was the car just to divert an accident. Officer inside the car was struck. Oh, see, he was in the car by a drunk driver, suffered serious injuries. Help protect those who protect service. Yeah, so that's the Scott's law that a lot of people.
So he was blocking the highway from another accident farther back on the road, and got struck by another drunk driver.
No, he was sitting there in order to get traffic to go around the accident.
Right.
Wow.
Okay.
Like it says he was inside the car. No, it says he was that his car was used to divert traffic by being placed over 200 feet prior to the accident scene, with emergency lights activated. So he has lights all going, and he was right there in the middle of the street. Yeah, dude hit him. Yeah.
Wow.
Anyway, Scott's law is a fairly well known in Illinois, but this car here just kind of that sends it home a little bit.
Yeah, they have speed traps for that to catch people not pulling over and getting away from emergency vehicles on the side of the road. My sister got a ticket for that once. Yeah. Here's
the video I was talking about, Steve-O. It's not the best picture of the solar eclipse, but it's sped up. Oh wait, no, this might not be the right one. That's only 10 seconds. I did take a reel that was a sped up image of the eclipse, guys. If you want to go check it out, it's sped up 3 times, so you can actually watch it move a little bit, which is kind of cool. This is just some of my new fish I told you guys about earlier. We got some they're black. I forget what they're called, but they're a type of snail. And then we got some ghost shrimp in there, like 5 ghost shrimp. You got to be careful though, man. Those ghost shrimp can get eaten by the other fish. So
yeah. Hi, Heather.
I took a video of me trying to they had a double bag here, and I don't know why I tried to take it out, but I did. For some reason, they usually flip the bag in the other bag, and so I have to. And then I just sat here fighting this bag for like a minute for no reason. Hi, Heather. Oh, speaking of Heather, one of my lovely subscribers, for some reason, Heather, you made me think of this. I just want to point out to everyone that there are posts up on my my Facebook subscription group and my Rumble or my local subscription community over there. There's a post pinned at the top for you to like and comment if you're a subscriber, and you get in on some giveaways throughout the week. I'm doing that every week. I make a new post every week at the beginning of the week, and then throughout the week, anytime I decide to do a giveaway, and usually I'll do one at some point, then I do the spin. Everybody gets a number, and you don't have to be anywhere to win. So just a side note, make sure you go get in. I think we got 7 or 9 already in for this week. I may do a spin at the end of tonight just to reward everybody that jumped in so quick. You know, Steve-O's in there already, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Scott's law must move over. Yes, Elisa May, I believe that's what it was. Yeah. Now that once I read the bottom of that, I didn't know it was the Scott's law car actually. So that's crazy. Yeah. Anyway, so fighting this bag, we'll move on. I'm not sure how much you'll be able to see over my shoulder, but I was worried about the other fish, thinking that I was feeding them food, and as soon as I pour in the shrimp, like, nope.
Gone.
And then the snails are worse because they just roll out like a rock, and I'm worried about them just tumbling to the bottom. I mean, they're pretty hardy, so I guess I shouldn't worry about it. All right, so you can't really see much there other than my hair getting way too long. All right, so I took a picture of this. This is from when I've let my RO system fill up too much and forget about it. I've done that a few times. Well, there's a dead fish right here.
There he is.
It had like gone up to the edge and then gone. There's tons of them, so I'm not worried about it. But then I saw this. It's not a very clear. I should have got a little closer up of this specifically. I broke this off. It was almost like a wasp nest, but not that it looks like a wasp nest, but like how it was on the side. I don't know if that was maybe a gnat's nest or some kind of insect or something bad, because fish don't do that. So I took it off of there. I didn't see anything living when I broke it off. It's very interesting, to say the least. Hello, Michelle.
Did it feel like calcium, or how'd it feel?
It kind of crumbled apart like I was breaking apart a wasp nest or something, except it didn't look like a wasp nest. Like I felt like maybe it was the gnats. The gnats make a thing like that. I don't know. That's weird. Like a little, like a hornet's nest or something that gets, made on the side of the house.
Right.
Very strange. Oh, look at this, Steve-O. That's what I was telling you about. That's insane. Now, clearly my glass is dirty on the outside from the fish tank, but that green thing in the middle is a snail that was white.
No shit.
So he needed some friends to help him eat some of that out. I think I'm almost done.
Get to work.
Can I turn this? I can't turn it, unfortunately. But you can see I still got quite a few fish in there. They breed a lot, so I just let them do their thing. And I know I got a couple of catfish in there somewhere. Those are mostly guppies.
They're pretty active, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's why I always thought I could somehow create a contraption to take some of that kinetic energy, because fish never stop moving. That means the water surface is also, not still, because it's constantly has a flow. But like not those fish, they're too small. Eventually, maybe I'm thinking like a big thing full of bass, just flipping and flopping everywhere, and you get some like bobbers on the surface, and they're just absorbing some of that kinetic energy coming out. Mm-hmm. It could happen. Make world.
Oh, yeah. Why not?
All right. So real quick before we move on to that certified segment, make sure you hit the like button, share us out. Let's see some of these nugs if you want to show us real quick.
They're not cleaned up all the way yet, but
it's all right. They're looking frosty. What is it?
This is orange sherbet.
Orange sherbet.
Nice. Not everything's got to be dense, that's for sure.
Well, yeah, because I learned this from Jason in the past, is that there is a use for every type of nug that you can get, and not just that, but every piece of the plant as well. But that's even further. But let's get this going, guys. You all know what time it is. I went a little long today, but we got that one's nice too. Pretty. But we got a new little intro for Steve-O tonight. Check it out. The certified segment.
Shorten that up a little bit from that minute long one that I've been using. Thought I'd freshen things up a little bit, but welcome
Good.
to your certified segment for April 8th, 2024 on the Indoor Farmer Mondays. And we've got some updates for you for sure. I've got some good stuff. Tonight, I have a video. To tell you the truth, what happened was today, I was outside enjoying the eclipse with my wife, and I thought, well, let's get some video of me cleaning my hydro buckets and getting them ready for the grill. So I did that. I had about 20 minutes of video, and of course, when I come in, I try to get it out of my iCloud, and somehow it ended up deleted. So I lost it, but I made something different for you guys as well.
I'll be right back, bro.
No problem. The next step is to get the seeds started, and you guys have been asking about a little bit of a video to show how I do it, and I have that for you here right now. It's only about 3 minutes, and then I'll take any questions or anything after that. So check this out. Welcome to your certified segment for Monday, April 8th of 2024. Today I did a great video outside. I was outside with Kelly during the eclipse. We made a nice video of me cleaning all of my stuff, my pots and everything, bleaching them, and then I come in, I try to get it out of iCloud, and somehow it's not there anymore. It's not even on my phone, so it's gone. So anyway, today what we're gonna do was the next step was to start the beans. Got 2 strains here for you. Got Grow Fan Maryland's. I got the candy bar cookies, and these are going to be the outdoor, I believe.
I haven't heard that one yet.
Right here. And then we also have the purple cookie dough, which I plan on being the indoor. Now these are 5 feminized seeds in each pack, so this is what I'm going to do here. We have I have a mixture of 50% distilled water with 50% hydrogen peroxide in each cup. Just a little bit. That's all you need. Just enough to cover the seeds. And oh, look at that. A little Grow Fam sticker in each pack. What do you know? Isn't that badass? So what we're going to do with these is we're going to go ahead and we are going to soak these seeds probably for about 2-3 days. On average, it just depends on how long and how long it takes for the tails to come out, for the taproot to come, and then I let it just start to crack and just start to grow a little bit of a tail. I take them out of the water, and then I spray a paper towel, spray it, not soak it, just get it a little wet. I put the seeds in the paper towel, fold it over, spray it to keep it moist again. Then I keep it in my on my heat pad in my seed starter that I have, the humidity dome. I keep it in there inside of a Ziploc bag that is not closed so that the humidity can get inside. Then I wait till the tails get long, and then I transplant them into solo cups. So that's the way I do it. You know, I know that there's different ways, but this is what's worked for me, and I'm excited to get started on this grow and show you guys, you know, the ups, the downs, the learning, the know stuff, you know, the tricks that I might have, and I expect to be taught lots of tricks from you guys. So anyway, this is what I was hoping to show you guys today as a second part of the segment. However, like I said, I lost that video, which I apologize. So anyways, peace, love, keep it organic. We'll see you guys next time. Yeah. So do you score the seeds? Joe wants to know. Yes, I do. As a matter of fact, I didn't mention that only for the fact that sometimes when people score the seeds, they can ruin them, and I didn't really want to bring that up. You know, I've seen people do that. Score the seeds. Yeah, basically, I just take, you know, a very fine grit of sandpaper, or even, you know, just something rough, and you just kind of just give it that little bit of a back and forth motion on the seed. It just takes a little bit of the bark off of it. I do it just a little bit, only because it's kind of like when I smoke cigarettes, I would pack my cigarettes. It's just kind of like a habit of doing it. But I would be careful with that, everybody, though, because sometimes you can ruin your seeds if you go too far. But a good soak typically will crack most any cannabis seed that, in my experience. But
so you're sort of trying to alleviate the pressure from the seed to do it itself, but then that kind of, I don't know, wouldn't that make the seed weaker not to do it, not to have to break out itself? Like, I don't know, you know what I'm saying? Like you're giving it too much, too easy,
making it too easy on it. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Kind of, because nature has to have some kind of pushback, to like make it stronger. And I think that's why one of the reasons that indoor growing is harder is that you don't have that wind that's constant. I have airflow, but not like you do outside where the plants really get that pressure,
Yeah, Joe, I've heard of people using a small razor blade and making a little cut in the shell too. I'd be afraid to do that myself. I wouldn't.
Yeah, I don't know. Jason, any opinion on that one? You ever done that? I've never heard you talking about scoring seeds. Sorry, I know your fingers.
The only ones that I do are ones that I know that have been around for a few years. If they've been around, if I've come across some seeds that, I've had in storage for a long, long time, or somebody says, hey, I found these sitting in my shed, but I know they were a great strain. If you want to try to grow them or whatnot, I'll give it a little bit of sandpaper. I've never cut it with a knife, but I have done the sandpaper technique.
Sandpaper sounds right. I done this with cloning, and I did this with the pineapple. I kind of tried to rough it up a little bit around the roots area. But I just never knew that about seeds. I've always had good luck with seeds, though. So I guess I've never been to a point where I only had a few and they didn't pop. Like.
Yeah, I've never had like a 5-pack or something and nothing popped. Pretty much maybe one wouldn't on occasion, but I suppose, knock on wood, I've had good luck with them. But absolutely. That's just a little trick. Like Jason said. I guess we're the same there. We both have done it that way, but at the same time, neither one of us have done the razor blade thing. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. I prefer the soak method myself. I usually soak it long enough in the wet paper towel or in the water that seed shell gets soft enough. And if it does hang on for that little extra day or two, I haven't really had a problem with it stunting the plant at all. And I believe that's what the main purpose is. The longer that shell stays on the plant, the more stunted it's going to be. At least in my experience.
Do you mean when it pops and it's like the little piece of shells holding the leaves or holding that kind of? You think that's hindering it?
Yes.
So do I. If anything, 100%. It's taking half of the light away from the petal of the other plant, if nothing else.
Yeah. Well, I guess I try to think about nature and how things would happen if we weren't there. And I guess outside there'd be more wind. There'd be more of a
your elements are way stronger.
To get that out of there right away.
It's just starting a plant outside and starting one inside at the same time. Your stem growth is it's astronomical. You can literally watch it, and your outside stem is going to be a finger thickness when your inside one is still a straw. Yeah, it's just the way it is because of the elements.
Now, why can't I? And I've had people tell me that you'll get wind burn indoors if you have too many fans pointed at your plant. Well, how come I can't recreate a bunch of wind that
you're not though? You're not recreating outside wind because a fan will be constantly blowing at the same.
Mine spins though. What about that?
But it's a cycle, It's I don't know. I think that is more closely relating to real wind the way you do it.
That might be why these potatoes are getting insane. I'm serious, because they have one fan pointed at them all the time and it's on the floor, and the other fan is right there next to them, and it's not spinning fast. It's just kind of doing its thing. Whenever it spins, it spins. Anyway, it's kind of freaky.
Yeah. What do you think, Jason?
If you had a timer, Brian says.
The grow room here is tornado. So the way they oscillate, it is pretty much a tornado throughout the whole room. And then there is an above fan too, above the lights to help cool the lights down.
Oh,
It just keeps that constant. It's literally, you can go into the middle of the room and there's parts where you're not feeling the breeze at all. But it's just a constant tornado breeze. We have another room that has the oscillating fans, but the light is on a conveyor belt. So the sun starts to rise, the light starts going, the sun starts to set, the light is at the end of the plants going dark.
mm-hmm.
So it's not getting the same amount of light that we are getting from the constant indoor grow. This is just something that we're trying out to try to replicate the outdoor environment a little bit more.
Have you heard of the I don't know what it's called, but I think it might have been you that I was talking to. It's kind of like a dryer, the way a clothes dryer works, except it's open. It's so imagine a drum that's going the same way a dryer goes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's water in the base, and there's a light sticking right in the center, and so then that drum goes around the light, and the plants are all inside that drum, and it recreates it makes it they speed up the seasons inside there, and they can grow plants faster. It's an expensive item, but I can't remember what it's called. But it's kind of crazy. Oh, hey, we got an ex-friend coming up over here. We got Gilo in the house. What's up, brother?
Gilo? Good to meet you. I'm Sir Steve-O. What's up, brother?
Speaking of Sir Steve-O and anyone that is interested, especially live streamers, I am an admin on Gilo's group over there, live streamers on X. So if you want an invite to the group, if you're a live streamer, if you are trying to, do some kind of social media over on X, let me know, and maybe we can get you hooked up. But yeah, we're definitely growing. It's a newer group, and he's been trying to get that growing. I just don't know a lot of people on X, but now I know some people that are working on getting over there. Doing well, Gilo. If you want to come up, you're welcome. We're just kind of talking about some of our earlier topics, but you're always welcome. Gilo has a garden. He's actually from Hawaii. I think he's in the States right now, but he's got some interesting perspective on nature. That's for sure. So Steve-O, I don't want to keep cutting you off. Are you done with your segment? I want to make sure. I don't know if you had something.
Well, the only thing I have left is just a couple announcements I wanted to announce, if you don't mind. I wanted to announce about the new forbidden fruit strain that I call it. That's coming out. It's the new flavor for the certified terp sticks, and I've got a little 18-second promo here I want to show off. Check it out. This is the one without the music. I picked the wrong one. But either way, you can get them at thegrowfam.com. We do right now have Sunset Sherbet in stock. So Forbidden Fruit is going to replace the cherry pie for a little while. But those should be available next week as well for everybody in single or 3-packs. So I just wanted to announce that.
What's a single run?
They're $5.99 without the discount that you can use. You can use the discount certified 10, and you can save yourself 10%. And
What's
I believe it's $15.99, I believe, for the 3-pack.
Okay.
And same thing, you can use the code and save yourself a little money there too. But
right, sorry, go ahead.
I think everybody's tried them, and those reorders are coming in, and I just want to say I appreciate that. But that is your certified segment for April 8th, 2024.
So I'm going to send Gilo the link. He's going to pop up. He said he's going to find us some videos too.
All right.
I'm at 5%, guys, so I do got to get out of here. But I will see you all a little bit later. Always appreciate all you guys. Steve-O, great seeing you, brother, man. I miss you, man. Haven't seen you in forever. I need to stop over and get on your show with you. So, but love you guys. Waylon, always a pleasure.
Yeah, bro. We will see you. We'll see you. It's definitely Thursday. Have a great night.
Buddy. Bye, everybody.
Sweet.
That's always fun to get to get growers to pop up. I'd like to actually go through the effort to make intros and actually call, make people special guests, for our Monday night. But I also don't mind some of our, especially some of our reoccurring grower guests, Smashley, Jason, and some of our people that have been up a few times. You could always just pop in. Really, I think any of those folks could just come in and sit in on the show. But we do also like to create. I like to create that spot of having that honorary. What was I calling it? The third chair guest, but basically you get to be a temporary co-host. There was another term I had thought of, but you basically get to be co-host for the night and hang out with us and talk grow and stuff. But there was, I can't think of that. Anyway, we'll see what happens when G-Lo gets up here. He actually does a lot of live streaming where he just goes out on locations and different out in nature and stuff. So there's a whole group. Actually, there's another couple groups I could introduce you to over there. There's another group of people that just like to live stream, and they actually don't like shows like this. They like someone pointing at a sunset or out in the woods or something like that, and that's great. I do some of those sometimes, but be right back, Dolores. All right. Yeah, definitely make sure everybody goes in. If you're subscribed to me, go to anywhere that you're subscribed, and there's a post that you got to comment and like, and you'll get a number. Speaking of growers coming up, I need to get you on my show sometime. Well, Ron, yeah, bro. I mean, I don't know. I didn't know you were still here, but you're welcome to come up too. We got Kat K in the house. What's up, Kat? Everyone's popping through later, but I think we had a pretty good show tonight earlier as far as our the content we produced for tonight. We're kind of in the after show. We're waiting on a guest to come up right now. But if anybody wants to come up, talk about some growing, be welcome. My good friends, Waylong McGee, indoor farmer, and Sir Stevio.
Kat, I love you and I miss you. That's all I got to say.
Kat, are you growing anything now? I know Kat does a little bit of growing here and there, and she's out in Newfoundland. So I think she gets I think they get 3 days of grow season in Newfoundland, I believe, something like that.
3 days.
They got to do autos. Actually, autos might be the way to go for people in northern climates. I wonder what Kat thinks about that.
There's nothing wrong with autos. Look at Nancy's autos that she grows. You wouldn't tell that they were autos if you looked at them. They're so freaking big. They just look like stunted photos.
Indoor?
Yeah, she's great with them outdoor too. I can't believe how awesome her genetics are. We're honored to have her as the breeder of the month.
I've never seen outdoor autos. Can't come up tonight. Okay, Ron, no worries, brother. Every Monday is a show for growers. That's what we do. There's a lot of growing shows out there, and I'm actually kind of proud of that. I don't what's the word, pretend to think that it's all because of me, but I do think that part of my goal was to help popularize these things and help get other people to do this kind of stuff, doing these shows, pointing out their ups and downs, learning how to grow stuff. And I'm seeing a lot of them now. Steve-O does his on his show. We got there's 6 of us on Grow Fam that all talk about growing, and it's very cool. I want to be very careful not to get stuck in a pigeonhole of just growers, though. I want to keep pointing out to people that every one of you has to eat, whether you do the growing or just know someone that grows or know why it's important. Something you gotta be aware, I guess. And that's why I do all the other shows, because you guys know that I say this all the time. Sustainability is not just about growing food. It's about our relationships as people, our culture, our planet. We got to have each other too. Hey, and speaking of people, we've got Mr. G-Lo in the house.
Hey, G-Lo, I'm Steve. Nice to meet you, brother.
Hey, what's up, man?
Good to meet you.
Yeah, you didn't meet G-Lo. He came up on People in the Boxes episode a few weeks back.
Awesome. It's a good show.
Love the beard, brother.
Hey, thanks, man. I like the goatee you got growing there. Nice job.
Oh yeah, you both have a ponytail too. You could both be like,
usually.
Yeah, well, Steve-O, you let yours down. You let it down for the show. I saw. I'm almost there. I'm getting there. Greg, this is getting crazy. This is the longest I've ever grown my hair. It might not look so long because the green screen kind of cuts some of the hair out, but it's getting insane. I don't know what I'm doing, but the hot weather will force a cut. I tell you that much.
Uh-huh.
Greg, how are you, man? How are you?
I'm good, man. Your hair is nice and black, dude.
It's the green screen.
Yeah.
I promise you it is. People have said this before. Like, did you dye your beard? No, man. It's actually pretty brown, but it looks black in the green screen.
Yeah, it does.
Everything is just straight black. Anyway, so G-Lo is over on X, guys, and I tell you what, I hate that X has changed the thing because it looks like there's 31 people in here, but 13 of those are on X, and X has a different way of numbering things, and so it's just weird. But anyway,
It's a game.
Yeah, it's a game, but at the same time, it messes up when I'm doing multi-streaming because it kind of screws up our total. But I appreciate all the information you put out over there, man. I definitely think that anybody that's on X should follow you. Steve-O just started getting on X. Definitely need to go check him out. And just for the nature alone, like this show, like let's bring it back to the show a little bit. Nature, we all got to live in it. And you're always out there in it. In the famous video you took where you stopped on the side of the road and jumped in the ocean with your phone.
Oh,
like that big. That's big, because not many people are going to do that for an awesome shot. But did that phone survive? I don't know if I ever asked you that.
Well, so I think I started streaming in 2010 when there was a company called Ustream, but when I started doing mobile, it was 2015 when Twitter bought out Periscope. So I've been through probably 8 phones since then. Maybe 8 or 9. I was fortunate. There was one year, a guy that I knew worked for T-Mobile, and he sponsored me an iPhone through T-Mobile, through his company, which was pretty cool. That was my first taste, of getting sponsored for like a cell phone, but which it wasn't really like I didn't get paid or anything. It's just I got a phone for free and I didn't have to pay for it, which was pretty cool. That was pretty cool.
That's how it starts, right? That's all you can do. Yeah. I have a range of sponsors from people that are literally just doing like small giveaways and people that are actually, I do have a little bit of money coming in now, not a crazy amount, but it is interesting to see how it develops. So I think you said something about you're going to be getting your garden going soon. Or you mentioned something on a reply to me. What was that?
My daughters, since we've been here, man, I tell you what, when you come from Hawaii where it's all tropical and you get the best food, and I'm biased, of course, but you get the best foods, and it's not just Hawaiian food. Like we're in the middle of the ocean, right? And so every culture either passes through or lives in Hawaii just because people want to live. You know what I mean?
It's a hub.
So like growing up, right? So in my yard as a kid, we had guavas, mangoes, bananas, papayas, lychee, every tropical fruit you can think of. And it just grew without even, you don't have to water nothing. You don't have to prune anything. No main. Well, you probably should, right? But
you may not have to, is what you mean.
Yeah. So here, where we live right now, it's a desert. So we're learning that there's a schedule, there's a timing. So my daughter, she's been composting how long, hon? For at least 6 months, yeah. My daughter's been composting, so she's been getting it ready. And then she tried to start our garden last week, but we had snow, which was unbelievably irritating, crazy. So, and I just changed my winter tires over, right? So we have our garden's going to be nice. I think we have 1, 2, and then we're actually ordering planters tonight, right now. So we're gonna get the raised beds and stuff. Mm-hmm. So
wait, so you said it's a desert. Do you mean like is it sand out back, or do you have some grass? What's up?
My daughter knows the best. So call Zoe. I'm gonna have my daughter explain it. She knows. She has this soil testing kits. My daughter's smart, bro.
Well, it sounds like she's got to get into it because of where you're at. That's definitely good.
I will say, what's funny about this? So we're in Central Oregon, and man, like in Hawaii, even though it's tropical, when I grew stuff, so I'll share some pictures with you in a second, but it took a long time. Here, I'm learning that things grow quick here. And I think you guys probably know better than me, but when the vegetables and the fruit, whatever produce, they know they only have a limited amount of time to grow, and they grow fast.
Hmm.
Yeah. Or
Yeah,
of course in the
because
soil.
well, because you're sticking to the schedule and stuff. So the more that she has to do it manually and do it right, then you're
Yeah.
probably going to still come out with some good stuff. I mean, you just have to do a lot more work.
Okay, my daughter said, what kind of soil do we have?
I think it was clay.
Clay,
Clay. Oh, that's tough.
but we're changing the soil.
It's a little
Yeah.
bit better though.
Yeah, we have clay. It's always dusty here, so it's, you know what I mean. But
So if you plant daikon in the clay soil, it helps break up the hardness in the
so my
soil.
wife said we're planting daikon, which
Mhm.
is the white Japanese radish, and that helps condition the soil.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
one thing that will help with the clay.
Yeah.
And then another thing is that you can just you're doing raised beds, but you can also just do the no-till. You add soil right over the top, like a lot of people are
Right.
doing that nowadays. Like without even a raised bed, they're going down rows of like a farming row. Instead of tilling, they just literally add bags of soil along that row, and they grow right on top of the ground, which is crazy. I don't know if that's how good that is. What's up, Chuck? Rock in the house.
Chuck, what's going on, brother?
But that's really cool though, that she's getting used to like not only just bringing in soil, but figuring out something that's going to help to, make
Yeah.
it better in the long term. I had a farmer on my show last Wednesday or 2 Wednesdays ago. I can't remember now. But he was talking about how remediating soil, but not only remediating soil, but he has a technique of adding carbon back into the soil. Which is actually making the plants go insane, because that's even better. So we all think plants like the carbon dioxide, like in the greenhouse or whatever, but they actually like it more in the soil even. So he's able to add it back into the soil. It's really interesting. That's worth a watch for sure. Definitely a good episode. Was there anything that you can't grow yet that you'd like to check out?
You know what? Let me. Can I share some
Yeah, let's
pictures
share
with
some
you?
pictures.
Okay, I'm gonna share my screen real quick. Oh wait. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna log out, and I'm on my Firefox. For some reason, Firefox doesn't like share screen. I'm gonna jump back into my Google Chrome. Oh, okay.
No rush. We're hanging now. If anybody else wants to come up, Ashley, if you want to come up, we're more or less in the after grow show. I kind of like this, Steve-O. Instead of switching straight from, just to have a session, hang out and talk about nothing, but now we can just BS about plants after we showed, okay, this is our week's update. This is where we are, right? And now let's open the floor to, the possibilities of what we can do. I mean, everybody has that nice weather coming, so everybody's probably scrambling to do something this year. What are your new projects, guys? What's everybody going to work on this year that you didn't do last year? For me, I don't think I want to grow cannabis outdoors this year, because I always struggle with my area on where I can do it and how I can. My neighbors have lights at nighttime, and it's just not good. So I'm going to just not do that. I'm going to concentrate on my indoor myself, but outdoor for me, I'm going to work on my fence. That's my biggest goal for me, is my fence. I know that seems antithetical, but
Yeah, that's the thing, is I'm popping all my seeds, even for the outdoor grow, and I'm gonna, keep everything inside in cups until they're ready to be transplanted after the last frost. For us, it can be the middle of May, beginning of June around here, man. It's ridiculous. It just depends. But like we were talking earlier, I mean, they stay, stalks especially stay small until they get outside. So, I can get a little bit of height on it and get a jump, but I expect to have bigger plants outdoors this year, though, for sure. Than I did.
After what you ran into last year, I think you learned a little bit. You figured out getting them off the ground helped, didn't it? Isn't that what helped eventually?
Yeah, and I mean, it was only my second time growing outdoor. I was always an indoor farmer, and now it's definitely different, for sure. But yeah, keeping them off the ground is definitely it. I'm actually looking into getting a raised garden beds, getting a couple of them so that Kelly can grow some tomatoes and some stuff, because she's gotten bit by the bug a little bit too. So
Yeah, Yep.
Mhm.
It's funny how it spreads. We kind of got away from it as for the most part when we started to outsource our growing to farmers, right? Our food to farmers, and we're kind of coming back to that. I think people are realizing the importance. Got Gilo back in the house.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like that. I like seeing people realize that, wait a minute, so I got to go work 40, 50 hours a week at this job that's like a soul-sucking place to work in order to then take that money and then spend it at the grocery store to buy this stuff that I could have just been growing, it myself. So where do you want to spend the energy? That's basically all it is. It's not
Mhm.
you're not getting out of it by working for somebody else,
Yeah.
Robert, what's up, Robert? Robert says, I pulled some carrots and planted some potatoes today. Okay, heck yeah. I got some carrots. I took those outside. Oh, you know what? I kind of have a confession to make to you guys. I did hide, I hid a mistake. I hid a mistake. You know that pot of potatoes that I had been, or not potatoes, but carrots that I had growing, carrot
Mhm.
greens, and I kept cutting off the greens. Actually saw spider mites on those. It was like a week ago. And so I wasn't treating that with Prime. That's what happened. They were like, they found a plant that they could go to. And so I took them outside when it was still cold weather and it was raining and stuff. They're looking beautiful. I got them outside where they get a little bit of sun and they're looking great now. I just quarantined them outside, and spider mites do not like it outside either. That's another thing.
Yeah.
Which is funny because that's where they come from. Like, hello.
I know.
My mom used to plant potatoes. Potatoes are so worth it because of what you get out of it, man. One potato, and then you just like come out with a whole bunch. Although, you technically should have that with a lot of things, right? Never mind.
I guess so.
Like my pepper plants, I should be getting a lot of peppers. I'm hoping. I got sweet and hot peppers. I don't know what that's going to do in my aquaponics system. Hopefully, it should be fine.
How big is your aquaponics?
55-gallon aquarium, and
Okay.
there's about, I would say, another 40 gallons that's in motion above it, like up through the two grow beds and the piping and all that. It's not that big. It's just a bunch of if you get a chance or get bored, Gilo, earlier in tonight's episode, the first 50 minutes is all my footage from my aquaponics and my potatoes and my cannabis and other things. So that the first half hour, 40 minutes is good to show off like what I got going. But there's probably 60 fish in there. They're all guppies and little tiny tropical fish. I got to expand soon. There's almost too much.
Have you tried tilapia?
That's just not enough space. I'm going to go to that, but they need more room. So I have a 65-gallon aquarium, and I also have a 100-gallon fish stock tank if I wanted to go to that, and that would be big enough for a few like edible fish. But yeah, everybody uses tilapia. I hate doing what everybody does, to be honest. I love just like I want to have bluegill in mine. You ever eaten bluegill? I don't know. Do you get bluegill in Hawaii? Probably not.
No, I've had it before though. I used to live in the south.
Not bad, but us as kids, we would be the ones having to catch bluegill while our dads were catching, like bass or whatever else. And the issue with that was the bluegill in lakes and things are just a bunch of tiny fish, and you go and you get some bread, and you'd be able to pop them real quick and get them, but they wouldn't be much to them. You have to get 100 of them to have a fish fry. So, but I found out if you grow a bluegill in a controlled environment and they're being fed and there's no predators, they can get 5 to 10 pounds. They can get way bigger, which is I thought that would be amazing.
I've got 2 stuffed bluegills that are this big. I'm not lying. That's how big they are.
You caught those in the wild?
Oh yeah, I caught them out. Yeah.
Justin says he likes glowfish. I've never eaten that.
Is that the one that's neon? They have the neon red or yellow.
I've seen glowfish that you don't eat, like little tropical ones that I've had in my tank, but I don't know what Justin's talking about. Justin's a Canadian though, so he might be going to the Justin, are you going to the pet store to get fish to eat? Don't do that. Come on.
I have a friend in Missoula, Montana. I went to his house in a basement. He had this huge It was at least 100-gallon tank, but he had piranha,
Ooh.
and yeah, I'm pretty sure piranhas are illegal, but
Oh, I don't know about that. I had my dean in high school famously had a piranha in his office behind him. So you get brought into the dean's office and he's talking to you the whole time behind you. You're looking at this, crazy looking fish, and he'll feed it, while he's telling you what you did wrong.
I tell you what, if you get a tilapia or Oscar or even a bass, put it in it'll clean up your tank quick.
I want to do this. I want to get crab, the little freshwater crabs, not the ocean ones, but you can get these tiny freshwater crabs. I'm going to put them in a separate tank, and I'm going to just scoop bunches of the guppies out as they breed too much, and just let them hang out with the crab. The crab will eat anything it can get its pincers to cut.
I wonder if you can get a carnivorous fish, then you get your crabs, and then also get some filter, like the freshwater clams or mussels to get that extra filtration of the water.
Okay, I think I know what you're meaning. I actually do have a plan to do this. I want to continue to add inputs into a system as I build it. Maybe not in my house, but I'm thinking future wise. I want to add freshwater sponges, and I want to add freshwater mussels and shrimp. I have some shrimp now, but I want to add a bunch of diversity to it to try to create a much more like nature sort of substitute. I don't know. Yeah. There's a bunch of little things that it misses. Like I don't get there. Like I'll lose iron over time and copper, and I'm going to lose other trace minerals. So I got to add that back. There's always something that you have to add. So you don't get out of the work. Like a lot of people will do it because they think it's easier than hydroponics, which is without the fish, but it's not necessarily easier. It's just a different. I like to have the idea, like to your point, the tilapia. I like to have that extra output of meat, fish. Would be awesome. Can't get that in hydroponics. You can't get that in your garden. Not getting fish out of your garden. You can just have that separately somewhere. Anyway,
you could probably do a rainbow trout too. The small ones, the smaller.
Yes, those are smaller, aren't they? That might be better. Tilapia, I think people do because it can range in temperature a lot more. It doesn't mind the temperature, but also they breed too. I think tilapia breed. Pretty good.
Big time.
What's up, Rasta? Got a lot of folks popping in. I think the Misfit Island just filling up the house over there.
What's up, boys?
On Steve-O's page. Hey, we got a bunch of people watching on G-Lo's X account. Thanks, brother. I don't know if you heard me telling people about the live stream community. I felt bad that I don't really know anybody to invite in there. But now I'm starting to hear some more Facebookers getting used to it because how StreamYard added X in like more officially and made it better. They are now into it more too, kind of branching everybody into it. So it's happening. It's happening. But vice versa, I try to tell people that are over on X and that's all they use. Like, hey, like there's a whole nother, there's a world out there. You don't have to just all eggs in the one basket,
I definitely don't. When I go live, I'll go live on 5 platforms. Now there's not a lot of traction on everyone, but I do it just because there are actual real humans that actually watch me on other platforms. Matter of fact, one of them is on X, but he hates X, but he's on X because I'm on there. And so he'll go into my YouTube live so he can comment because he has an Android device.
Right.
So, okay.
Yeah.
Yep. So anyway, that's why I try to point out that every person on the planet you have to have more people in order to survive, other than a very, very few people that can like live off in the mountains by themselves. Like, what is that? 5 people on the planet? But no, that's probably more. But like not even 1% of the people on the planet could live without other people. So when I talk sustainability, it's much bigger than just what I can grow, I do want to get you know what, quick shout out to Riverview Road Apiary, newest sponsor on game night last night. And speaking of, I didn't finish what I was saying earlier, guys. I'll get all the game night prizes out, I promise. Sometimes it takes me a day or two, but the eclipse maybe got me a little busy today. I walked my dog during it. It was fun. But let's see who won that Riverview Road Apiary prize.
Kia ora, Simon.
Margaret won it. Congrats, Margaret. Yeah. So I love promoting an apiary. You know, bees are so important. So I want to really push that one for sure.
We love honey.
Do you think I'm seeing some things where like it's actually not good that we control the bees like we do? Like there was something being said about how us holding or us controlling the bees in the hives in the man-made hives for too long has caused some problems. I'm trying to think of what it was now.
So what do they consider as controlling the bees in a hive? I'm curious. That's new language to me.
Us having our own beehives where we have the man-made. I should search real quick because it's just coming to my memory. But there was something being said that it's causing a problem, like we're the bees are dying out or something.
I've read a few things, but I've also I've met a few I guess we call them bee farmers or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, beekeepers. So we don't consume processed sugars anymore. We replace everything with honey. So I have honey from Hawaii, which is very expensive. I got honey from New Zealand, which is the Manuka. We have a lot of Oregon honey just for allergies, right? And then we have some honey from Turkey, which is pretty funny. It's called Palermo, El Palermo. You can buy it at any place, but
that funny honey.
Yeah, and then there's the other honey which I will never try, but it's the one that Sonny on YouTube. He took a jar of it to Joe Rogan's podcast, and they were like hallucinating. Yeah.
See, I think one of the problems that we're having, in the bee world, is the fact that we're mowing down a lot of these native plants that the bees need in order to collect their pollen, and that's part of the reason why man,
you're right,
hurting it.
This is different though. And you're definitely right. That's one of our issues. But this is specifically about beekeeping. This was in August of 2023, and it says Hive Mind, is beekeeping wrong? And that is by Sam Knight from the New Yorker. I'm probably not read the whole thing, but let's see. On a hot pollen dazed morning this summer, I stopped by the house of. Okay, this is a whole story, man. I'm not going to do that.
It's a short story, it seems. Yeah.
Yeah.
The New Yorker usually has short stories in it. Yeah.
Well, then we'll just.
Excuse me. Sorry.
The bee keepers that I've met.
I know what it is. Go ahead, though. Go ahead.
So the ones that I've met here, they're smaller ones, right? Usually they buy they'll have 20 acres of land, and then they have cattle, but then they also do bees on the side just as an extra source of income. But typically the bees hang out where they are naturally for the most part. So they figure, you know what, let's just build a hive for them. And so from my understanding, the bees are free to go anytime they want to. But because of the way the weather is here, they figured out a way to keep them year round. And I'm not sure how they do. I don't know the science, but one of the guys was telling me that one time, I guess the queen left or something, and the entire hive left, and the kids were crying because it's kind of like it's like a family to them,
Yeah.
And he said you could literally see the entire colony just leave his property, and then I don't know, a couple of weeks later, another colony had formed, and so that's why it's interesting. I don't know what would constitute as controlling. I don't know, because I don't do that for a living. So, but I just found it interesting that he said that once they leave, they're gone. They can't really force them to stay.
Right. There's nothing you can do to bring them back unless you get a new, or you just have to start over with a new queen. So what I heard from Luke from Riverview Road area, I had him on my show a few weeks back, and he was telling me how there are also pest problems in bees too. This mite that gets inside the bee. But that's not what I'm going. What I'm referencing here. I don't know if this is what it's going to talk about, but what I remembered was people will perpetuate honeybees, and tons of people will breed honeybees, but it's causing other types of bees. And there's, I guess, I forget how many he said, like 150 different types of bees that are even just in one area, like that are just there's so much variety in bees that we don't know about, but what we want are honeybees because we want honey. But we actually don't think about all of the rest of the populations. And the problem with honeybees is that they only go so far, and they only so affect so much of an area, and that is if it interrupts the other bees in the area. Anyway, I think it was something to that effect. I know I'm not don't quote me on it, but there is an issue with the fact that we use too many honeybees. Too many people. Honeybees symbolize prosperity, sustainability, and environmentalism. Okay. I'm sorry, too many people. Why does that doesn't sound right? But as a honeybee researcher, I have to tell you that only the first item on that list is defensible. Although they are important for agriculture, honeybees also destabilize natural ecosystems by competing with native bees, some of which are species at risk. Okay, so that's kind of what I was going with there. I'm all over the place. I'm not going to read the rest of it, but that's basically what I had heard about, was that's an issue with too many honeybees, and not that's causing a problem with the regular bees, non-honeybees, I guess.
I'll tell you what's killing the bees.
Good night, Smashley. Hi, Jenny. Go ahead.
I'll tell you what's killing the bees.
Cars, the highway
No.
theory or whatever.
No.
What is it?
Sex. Yeah.
Well, I'm not contributing then to the downfall.
No. True story though. I had to fact check myself because I was gonna, just spit it out, but it's true. I had to make sure I knew what I was talking about. When the bees have sex with the queen, as soon as they're done and to do their job, they die. They literally die. What happens is their stomach rips open. Once they're done impregnating the queen, they pull away, and the entire stomach just like.
Oh, yikes. So
their only purpose in life is once they have sex and then they're done. That's it. It's very interesting. Yeah.
Now, for some reason, the only question that came into my mind is how long does the leftover bits just hang on to the queen's ass? Like she just holds on to his leftovers for a while. Like his guts are just on her ass when she's just walking around, and weird.
I think it's still pumping. I think that's why.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yes, I think that's why. I don't know. I mean,
I think I've heard something like that, but yeah, it's pretty. You guys can do your own research on that one, but it sounds. I honestly think that the mites were a big problem, and they finally figured out how to deal with those. At least some things that they can do to deter them and to deal with them. I think that's what Luke had told me. But the sex thing is that's crazy, like a praying mantis.
Yeah,
bite his head off. I don't know which one's worse. Would you rather have your head bitten off after sex, or you evidently they're doing it to themselves. They're pulling away. So they're like voluntarily ripping themselves apart. Like that seems weird. Anyway,
it depends how
bringing the heat
fast.
tonight. Well, we are at about hour and 45 minutes. Bro, you've had 100 people pop through on your page over on X. Thank you for that.
Wow. I just followed you on Twitter as well, Greg.
Thank you, brother.
Appreciate that.
Colin, what's up? Got Colin Smith in the house. Cali X Genetics. I believe the fluffer bee is also responsible for cleaning the queen after mating. There's a fluffer bee. Interesting. What's up, Timothy?
I wouldn't want that job.
Yeah, that seems like we're getting these terms from nature, and then we bastardize these terms, I think, in humanity. So I might see you Wednesday, Gilo. You think? You can hit me up in the DMs. We'll talk about it. But yeah, I'm hoping to maybe get a few other ex creators to come up after Alex, because that should be a good discussion for sure.
Well, today's Monday, right?
Today's Monday. Yep. Tomorrow I have a review show of the Cookies event. Cookies is a new dispensary that opened up in my area. Nice. And there's a whole bunch of good pictures and vendors and different genetics companies that we're bringing the heat. So it was a good event. We'll show that off tomorrow. But then Wednesday is going to be an interview with Alex Finn. So that'll be.
Hey, I got two pictures. Can I show you real quick?
Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm really in no rush. I feel like when I don't have much else to talk about, we should probably wrap things up. Steve-O, if you got anything, bro, I'm dying here. Hit me with something. No, but yeah, show us. We got some pictures from G-Lo.
So
Tell
this
me.
is called a loi. Can you guys see that?
Yeah.
So it's a taro, what we call a taro patch, but in Hawaiian it's called a loi. And so they utilize the water that comes from the mountain, and then they channel it, kind of like every civilization, how they use the waterways. So from this plant, we eat the leaf, we eat the stem, and we also eat the root. The root is similar. If you've ever heard of poi in Hawaii, when they mash it up, it becomes like a paste. It's a starch.
I've heard the word, but I didn't
Yeah.
know that. Okay.
So they have what we call the wetland taro, which you can actually grow. You could grow this in your home, actually, Waylon, if you figure out how you want to place it. But you can grow this in. I've seen people grow it. And then it's a great food source. Yeah.
Does it go from seed, or is it something I get cut, or?
It's like a root, so you would get it from the root.
Okay.
If you've ever seen a Samoan before,
Sure.
yeah, that's what they eat. That's how they get big.
Like big, is it protein, or is it just like a starch because like a potato type?
Yeah, it's a base. It looks like I don't know what other vegetable does the taro look like?
Like a yucca?
Yeah, it looks like a yucca.
Yeah.
But it has a very mild. It's almost very little taste. It's more of a starch to offset saltiness of your meats or fish.
Stuff. Okay.
Yeah. So that's one of the things we actually have some, yeah. So we actually have some. We're gonna try to grow it here.
The dry land.
Yeah, we have the dry land. I'm gonna show you one more picture. This is you can't really see it, but this is 30 acres of farmland in where I'm from, and they have all your fruit trees. And my friend who manages this place, they cut the grass 40 hours a week with 4 employees, and they still are behind. It's pretty intense. That's the kind of weather you've got. And this is
too much grass.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not enough fruit trees.
I want to show you my. I'm trying to find my chili peppers. As soon as I find it.
Yeah, my guest, John. I gotta find his last name. He is a big time farmer and talking about this grass that he found that he's using to create jet fuel with the government. He works with the government on making, and he said it's the fastest growing plant that creates the most yield, even more than cannabis. What do you got here? This your
So these are our raised beds in Hawaii. It doesn't look too impressive. We were actually right about on our way out at this time. So I think this is basil, and we had a couple. It was more from our kids and my wife to kind of practice.
You got to start somewhere. I say start in a small little bin. I was washing things out that I'd get from the store, like after you use a food container that's not like a real dirty. Wash it out. You could grow something in it, depending on the shape and stuff. Oh, there's some peppers.
So this is my Wailua. So this is we call it a Wailua chili pepper. It kind of resembles a jalapeno. I can't remember how it was created at the University of Hawaii, and Scoville units, I would say it's about 30,000. It's not that spicy, but it's hotter than jalapeno. Right around a serrano pepper.
I mean, that's pretty. I think jalapeno is my limit.
Oh, it is.
Oh, he pooped on us. Yeah, I like some actually, I like the fresh jalapenos when they don't have. You take the seeds out. That's the hot part, right? Do you like those, Steve-O?
Yeah.
Sometimes.
I don't know. The only type of pepper I like a little bit is a jalapeno. Everything else can.
I like banana peppers, pepperoncinis.
Yeah.
I like pepperoncinis. No?
I've tried them all, man, and I just can't do it.
Chuck G in the house.
The flavor that's in chili, of course, or something. The flavor isn't bad. Like I don't like to chew on onions, but I don't mind onion flavor. You know what I'm saying?
I used to never like onions, but actually I kind of have changed my mind just because they're so good for you in a lot of ways. They're not so good for you if you got them like dipped in batter and fried and then dipped in like sauce or whatever, like onion rings, but they're good for you for other reasons. I should grow some onions. I like the green onions. The not leeks. What am I thinking of? Like they're tall green and chives. Like not chives.
Chives.
There's an onion like that too, though. That you can just those are good like that.
The Mexican green onions are interesting. They have the typical scallion green one you can chop up and put in soups, or it's got a nice little bulb too. It's a nice little white bulb. It's very interesting. So it's yeah.
Okay. I'll pull it up. I might want to start doing something like that because I think I'm with you, Steve-O. I don't like that big, round, like apple of an onion. I'm not gonna go taking a bite into it or anything. But look at these.
Raw.
These are cute. Look at these. I'd be down for some of those.
What are those little ones? Scallions? They're the tiny ones that you can get in recipes. Those I can stand.
I like those, but this is I think what you said I could eat. You can eat the green and the bulb.
Yeah.
Right?
So what I do is, so the dark green, I chop that off, and so I don't know if you eat ramen noodles or soups.
Sure.
You slice it up at the end, and you use that at the end. The middle piece where it's kind of green, yellowish, whitish, that stalk, I would use that to cook midway through, and then the bulb, you use that to cook. Like, let's say you slice it up, and if you've ever cooked like shallots, so it's kind of like a shallot, but not as strong. Shallots can be very strong, in the aroma. It'll
Never
get
heard
your
of a shallot.
Yeah. The shallot was actually what I was talking about a minute ago. I had it wrong.
How do I spell shallot?
Shallot. Yeah. Hey, Greg, I was wondering, do you know those bulbs that we were just looking at? Are those, just as we saw them from the store, are those plantable immediately, or do you have to cut those old roots off and start your own and then replant it? Would you know that?
It depends on where we plant them straight in.
Okay.
The root vegetable, usually you can just stick right in. Even
right
potatoes. People, the only reason that you cut up a potato is to spread it out and to have more potatoes. If you just plant a whole potato, it'll still make a lot of potatoes if you got the space, but it's gonna have more work to do to spread out and everything. It's literally just to help the plant do some less work. These are awesome though. This looks suggestive, but it looks awesome.
Now shallots are they're kind of like the French will probably be mad at me saying this, but it's almost like an onion and a garlic had a baby. But people that are chefs would rather use shallots than onions. The only thing with shallots is that they tend to build up mildew very quickly because they're a lot more moist than an onion for some reason.
You mean like the harvested product?
Yes, if you buy it from the store, for example, if you don't use it right away, it tends to feel what do you call it? It tends to grow mildew very quickly.
Chuck G, real quick, I want to shout out to everyone that is waiting on the giveaways from Twisted Cannabis. He did get the website set up. You guys need to check that website out when you get a chance. But there is a couple more people. Timothy, you're one of them. Terry, Alan, Michelle. I'll be getting those out tomorrow with the other game night giveaways. But yeah, you get to choose beans or eats. You get that free shipping and everything. So it's all set up. If you want to get a chance to win those, definitely come in and check out game night, guys. And Timothy says we got habaneros, ghost peppers, Carolina Reaper, scorpion pepper. Are these things you've eaten, Timothy? That sounds insane.
You know what's funny is in that order, I think the habanero is the least hot. I think that one is like 500,000 Scoville units, possibly.
Oh, yeah.
Everything else,
I've heard that name or that unit measurement, but I don't know what number is good.
So a jalapeno, I think, is 3,000 Scoville units. Hawaiian chili pepper is anywhere from 90 to 150,000 Scoville units.
Wow.
Which Hawaiian chili peppers are amazing. They're so tiny, but they pack a little punch.
Mm-hmm.
It's a measurement of heat, actually. Scoville is. Yeah.
Timothy, I think you're talking about. I think Timothy's talking about the shallot. That it cooks faster too. Okay.
50 to 100,000.
Hawaiian chilies.
Well, that's all right, Mike. Appreciate you stopping by, brother. We're just kind of shooting the shit about different plants now at the end of our show. But yeah, thanks for coming through, Mike Hood. Yes, my own pepper blend. What? That's what you got in that pepper blend? Is all those?
Oh, geez.
Oh my god.
There's a guy on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram. I forget his name. Wesley. All he does is eat peppers, and he eats it raw. Like,
Woo.
yeah, and he eats Carolina Reapers, ghost peppers, you name it. And he eats, and then he dips it in hot sauce and eats it. It's crazy
With the seeds and everything.
Oh yeah, as a matter of fact,
crazy.
He will take dried seeds and stuff it in the peppers and eat the pepper. He's his name is.
He's burnt all of his taste buds. They're gone.
Well,
doesn't even taste it.
I think he probably has an elevated sense of taste. That's what I think. I mean,
probably, obviously. I real quick before I get off of this screen, and Steve-O, you can go. But there's a green shallot and the regular ones. I see that. You see the different too. That's interesting. There's a variety of it. Anyway,
I think it depends who you talk, because in Hawaii, we just call it green onions. And so when I come here and I go to this restaurant and this ramen place, and I say, "Oh, can I have extra green onions?" And the girl goes, "Are you talking about scallions?" I'm like, "No, I'm talking about green onions." She goes, "Oh, but we call it scallions." I'm like, "Okay, can I have extra scallions?" So
yeah,
there's a problem with our terminology here. Steve-O, I'm sorry. What were you? You were going to say something, I think.
Oh, nothing. I think I was just agreeing, but yeah, I mistook scallions for those as well just a few minutes ago. The name, but the shallots are actually the one type of onion that I like the flavor, and it's very good. My wife made chicken piccata with that on there one night, and it's a sauce basically over a chicken breast, but it was very good.
I got to get more things like that, because I did grow the green onions from the store once, but they are not a cut and come again, which I thought they would be. I really thought they would just, like, I could cut some of the greens and they would keep coming back up. They did a little bit, but only like a couple times. So definitely got to figure out how to, like, make more, not just to eat it and then it's gone. Everything I have right now, I try to perpetuate. So my lettuce, I actually made my own lettuce seeds from the last time, and that's what that lettuce is that's growing in there. And the basil, you can just cut and put cuttings of that anywhere. I'm going to try to grow basil all over the basement to help keep different pests and things away. I think it's going to help, and I might actually set up a little larger pot and do like a mix of like different herbs that are all like insect repellents kind of stuff, and just have like a teeny little grow light, and then like every corner of my basement have a little setup of like a little live insect repellent station. Does that make sense? You can do it with like chemicals, you can do it with pouches of the natural stuff and everything, like shouts out to the Leaf Cycle pouch, but I want to have like greenery everywhere, and also the plants help to clean the air, and also I could cut the herbs and use them, so it's extra uses, I guess. I don't know.
I got an honest question, and it might sound silly, but have you ever tried to grow something and you had it like just growing and growing, and all of a sudden it just like decided to die? Have you ever been emotional with what you're growing? I mean, it's just a question I had.
That's silly. No, I'm kidding. No, actually, the one thing that's jumped in my mind, and I'll let Steve answer, but I had a grow light drop on my plant one time. Oh, like I was, that was exciting for a minute. But Steve-O, you ever got any? Last year you had a little bit of a issue. Go ahead.
Yeah, I had the whatever that gopher, groundhog, whatever you want to call it, dig up my plants out of my pots, and just because I left them on the ground overnight one night instead of up on the raised table. And then I have a similar memory that Waylon said. That was probably my biggest heartbreak, was a fan falling over off of a 5-gallon bucket I had it sitting on, and it took the top right off of the best plant I ever grew. And I just taped it up with duct tape and stood it back up, and it just kept growing.
Yep, gotta keep going.
Yep, just held it right up.
Well,
But to-
it's a
to
lot
answer
of
your
work,
question-
right?
Well, sorry, to answer your question more directly, the beginning of me growing plants, I started it with this whole plan in mind where the ups and the downs were going to be content. So I really don't, it doesn't bother me when I make mistakes, because that's just as good, if not better, content than not. And not just content. We'll take that out of it. It's a better lesson when you make a mistake. For sure. But at the same time, I'm thinking, oh, this is great. Look at what I messed up here. I'm going to take a picture and I'm going to tell everyone. And like, that was from day one. So I guess I don't think I had that as much. But yeah, dropping a heavy ass grow light on my plant. I was more worried about the light, to be honest. That's more expensive, but it did split that plant in half. And it ended up, I ended up having to get rid of it. But
I had this friend, it was a coworker years ago, and he was so at the time I think he was 85, and he was working. He just got out of prison. Old Korean man. He's been in jail, I think, probably 60 years of his life, but he was an amazing gardener, and I learned so much from him. And so we have this plant called the tea leaf. It's TI. And a lot of the Hawaiians will use it to cook. We'll put fish in it, we'll wrap it, or whatever beans. And he showed me that he would take the whole stalk, or the stem, or whatever you call it, and he'd cut it into like 10 different pieces. And then he would I forget what he would dip it in this wax. He put some kind of medicine or whatever in powder, and then he dip it into wax, so the wax would seal it. And then he'd stick it in the water for a couple of weeks. And once these little white pimples would form on the stalks, it was ready to plant. So out of one plant, he created 10 different plants. And it reminds me of Groot. A Groot in
yeah.
Yeah.
That's intense, because Steve-O and I both have seen a lot of people with like cloning cannabis, and there is a whole lot of like this whole process and the best way to do it and all that to get it to root. But we wouldn't dare cut a teeny, like you wouldn't do that. Like there's no way. Like that's really small. I mean, I guess maybe I could compare it to a potato. You can cut small pieces of potato, but like a basil or anything else, you're going to want some leaf, you're going to want some stem, before you can even think about cloning it or propagating. But yeah, that's crazy.
I learned a lot from him. And I didn't even know till I met him, but so some of the plants would get sick, and then I'd come into work the next day, and I noticed all these plants have no leaves on it. And I'm like, dude, what did you do? And he was said, no, they're sick. You gotta get rid of all the energy focuses back to the core of the plant. And I was like, wow, that's pretty. And sure enough, like a couple of weeks later, the plants were like just vibrant. They were growing. It's like it was crazy.
Nice.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
When you like tonight, Ashley Huffman, shouts out to Ashley. She said it's probably best that I cut my potatoes down. I don't know if I'll see if I can pull up a picture real quick to show you, because I have these 2 stalks and then a whole bunch of other little shoots coming up in the soil right by me here in this room. But these 2 stalks are like, one's almost as tall as me and the other one is taller than me. And I thought it was fun to look at, but to her point, it's probably time to do to chop them down, and to what you had said, that puts a lot more energy back down into the roots, which in this case would be the fruit of the plant, the potatoes. Let's see, share this picture, just one picture real quick to show you some of the madness. I think it looks awesome, but then oh no, that's my basil picture. Jeez, idiot. There we go. That's almost to the ceiling with these. I don't know what that is. That's a potato plant.
That's the flowers, right?
Yeah, I've never seen it flower. I've always harvested them before that.
When they flower, that's when they're ready, right?
What potatoes do is they will flower and then they will die off. They'll die back to the soil. Like they'll sort of like crumple back down to the soil. Is what I've seen in the. Let's see.
Is that hazelnuts you have in the bed?
No, that's a. I got a pineapple. I got some.
But those
Peppers?
round brown things.
Oh, those are. That's clay pebbles.
Oh,
It's
okay,
just a grow medium. Yeah. And
gotcha.
then this back one. What, Steve?
That's what I use. Same thing.
Yeah, well, the back one is just water. So there's a water bed, like a water float bed, basically, that I used a piece of siding to just cut cap over and put holes in it, and then that water goes down into this bed, which is more of a filter, and microbial bacteria and stuff all grow in there. But look how tall that potato's growing from the ground, and it's as tall as the basil is in that bed. So it is pretty crazy, but I could probably trim it down a bit.
That's basil right there, right?
On the left, that's basil. You see my mouse?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all basil, and it was growing up into the light. I had to harvest a bunch of it. This is mint over here, and then I don't think that I have doubts about this pineapple. I really hope it will do something for me, but this is my second time trying to grow a pineapple.
Well, where's the pineapple from?
The store.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it probably isn't gonna. It's probably some like sprayed with pesticides or something.
We had two or three pineapples in our yard, and they didn't do so well.
I have doubts about this pineapple. We've got an echo.
That was my wife. She's jumping on.
Appreciate you for jumping on. Yeah, we're actually over time, man. I don't want to keep you all night, but this has been an awesome episode. I appreciate. I want to talk to anybody about growing, not just people that I think are professional farmers. You know, it's like every person has to eat. I say it all the time, and that's my catchphrase.
Well, as soon as I get ours up in my daughter's, she has the sprouts already, I think. So she's got her lettuce ready, and then I think I have 4 different types of chili peppers. I'm growing Thai chilies, cayenne. There's these ornamental chilies. They look like Hawaiian chilies. I'm gonna try those and see. And I'm gonna make chili pepper water. So you just put the peppers in a bottle, and you put hot water or boiling water with vinegar and salt, and you just let it sit, and it's
what's it for?
You just drink it, bro. Like, no, I'm serious. I mean, you don't drink it like alcohol. Well, you could, but it's kind of hot. But I don't know, any meat.
It's like a sip, huh? Okay.
Yeah. So I used to, when I was a kid, I would just sprinkle it over my food, right? My mother-in-law, brah, one time I watched her eating, and she has this cup, and she's eating her food, like just grinding the food, and then she has this cup. I was like, what is she doing? She's drinking a chili pepper water, like a shot.
That kind of makes sense, though. Instead of making a mess on your plate, you're just
exactly. And that's what I do now. I'll pour like a little shot glass, not shot, but I'll drink it and eat my food. So,
what if you added alcohol to it? I mean, I'm not a drinker really, and
you probably could.
That could be a weird mix. But it kind of sounds like sake, because that would be hot. Sake is supposed to be warm or whatever, but not like a different heat, obviously. But interesting. Yeah. Chili pepper water. I bet that stretches the peppers way out too. Instead of just eating the pepper to get that hot flavor, now you got like a jug, gallon of this, pepper water.
You know what's good too? If you have if you have a hot chili, you put it in a mortar or pestle. Just fresh chilies, garlic, and salt. If you want to put a little bit of citrus, whatever, and just grind it up. And it'll last you a while. It's a great way to put on your meats or vegetables. You mix it with a little bit of vinegar if you want, or soy sauce. You can do that.
Citrus really helps. That citric acid actually does a lot wonders with a ton of stuff. Did you find? You found him? Got him.
Got him.
Got him. All right. Well, guys, it has been a hell of an episode. I got a lot of things to think about. I'm hoping to get this pH under control now. So aquarium water is tough to maintain, but here we go. Steve-O, we're going to be seeing some starts coming from your way, and then Gilo, man, take some pictures I'm sure you will. That'd be content, but send us some pics of the garden as you go. It'd be great. We'll get you back on sometime. Do a walkthrough or something. Is it still light over there?
It just got dark. The sun's setting late, so
Well, right. It's 10:42 here. So when we started the show, it'd probably be a nice little light walkthrough even. But yeah, thanks again, brother. If you want to do any shouting out, go right ahead. Always happy to do that.
well, I'm live on my channel too. So if anybody is not following Waylon, bro, what the heck? Where have you been, bro? What the heck? We are live on X, but also on other platforms too. So thank you guys for just watching, and replay viewers. We appreciate you. We love you too, even though you didn't catch us live. We love you too.
Definitely.
So
We do have those, but it's hard. It's been hard, and Steve-O will agree that we for a long time we get down on ourselves if the live viewership isn't there. But we got to remember always that people will this show and every show that I do and this, what Steve-O does, they're designed, they're produced in a way that it's a show you can watch 3 months from now. It's not a you got to watch it now to see what it's not a you got to be there to see it kind of thing. So I like that anyway.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, guys. Steve-O, got anything, brother?
Yeah, it's great to meet you, Gilo. This is a
Same
great
here.
episode, man, and I hope to see you again soon.
And yeah, follow us all over the place, guys. Have a great night. And remember, every single person on the planet has to eat.